Selam Eylül.
Merhaba hocam. Queen'e dönmüşsünüz.
Benim orijinal zoomlarıma ilk Eylül maruz kalıyor. Bir de Zeynep gelecek herhalde. Öyle başlarız. 2 dakika bekleyelim. Genel durumumuzu biraz konuşalım. Nasıl gidiyor hayat? Nasıl? Godot kısmında takıldığınız yerler var mı? Şu an biraz genel bir giriş yaptım. Aynı girişe de yaptıysa biraz hızlanabiliriz. Ali Hoca da yaptı mı? Genel olarak oyun motorlarından bahsetmeyi.
O da yani oyun motorlarından bahsetmedi ama Godot üstünde gösterdi. İşte arayüz gösterdi. Birkaç oyun denmez de işte şeyleri yaptık. Nasıl ilerliyor. İşte collision'ları falan gösterdi. Bizden bir ödev istedi. Bu daha önceden de yapılmış olabilir ya da kendimizin bulacağı bir oyun. Çok minik bir oyun. Çok özellikle olmayacak. Başta onun dokümanını yazacağız. 30'unda ya da 29'unda göndereceğiz. Onun süresi o kadar. Ondan sonra da onu yapacağız. Final ödevi de o olacakmış. Öyle bir ödev vardı.
Onun bir kopyasını mı yapacaksınız?
Kopyası da olabilir dedi ama siz de artı özellik ekleyebilirsiniz dedi. Farklı bir şey aklınıza
Güzel.
geliyorsa.
Biz de öyle bir şey yapmıştık. Şeyi yapmıştık mesela ben o kadar hızlı yapamamıştım ama arkadaş bir haftada Wolfenstein oyununu yapmıştı mesela. Wolfenstein 3 yani 3 boyutlu bir kalede silahınla gezerek ateş ettiğin, düşmanları öldürdüğün bir oyun. Onu yapmıştı ve yani zamanında o oyunu yazmak için hani yıllarca uğraştılar. Yani yıllarca demeyeyim de 1-2 yıl uğraşmıştı böyle 5 kişilik bir ekip falan aşağı yukarı. Öyle hatırlıyorum. Yani Game Engine sayesinde işte bunu bir haftada prototipleyebiliyorsunuz. Bayağı iyi bir şey. Okay, we can start with our lecture and I'm going to share my screen again. Let's close this one and let's remove this out of the way. Okay. We have talked about render engine, and we have talked about the differences between CPU and GPU. Just keep in mind that GPU is consisting many little CPUs. This is why for calculations in, for instance, cryptocurrency or in what else? In rendering a screen, etc. Or when you're calculating a complex mathematical equation, this is usually done in computer science, you need the force of GPU. You try to divide the parts in your calculation and you assign a point in GPU to calculate this part of your equation. So this is why for basically cryptocurrency, you basically need to decode a password. You need to solve an equation to decode that password. And because of that, you need a strong graphics card and GPU. Okay. So we have talked about collision detection engines, but these are the different types of simple objects we need to calculate the collision for. And when there's a collision, you notify other parts of your program by firing an event. We will see examples of that, but just keep in mind that an event is a design pattern in coding. It's not called it is called delegate delegate design pattern, and it lets us write our code without depending on other parts of our code. This will sound really complex right now, so don't worry about it right now. We will see examples of that. Okay. So we will use C# for scripting engine, but you can also write with JavaScript, although no one uses it. I guess this is a feature by Unity that enables JavaScript teams to start with Unity, but after people learn Unity, they shift to C#. All the sources are in C# when you're talking about Unity. But for instance, Unreal Engine uses C++. There was a debate between using C++ or C# in Unity because technically C++ has higher performance and gives more control to the user, but C# is more user friendly. So this is why they created an alternative to Unreal Engine by choosing a different language, and I believe this is a right choice by Unity team, since it enables quick prototyping by using a high-level language. So a scripting engine does not require the source code, and it does not change the code in the engine, and it is game specific. So you can have a game without any scripts, since it does not require the source code, but it will be just a static scene probably. Maybe you can add some animations, but other than that, you won't have any logic. You won't have any if statements, you won't have any loops. So it will be a dull project. But it's possible. This is why it's written here. And you have a sound and video engine. Actually, Unity has a great way of handling sounds and videos. And we use videos for generally cutscenes, and we use sounds in all places. Sometimes when there's a collision, we play a sound. There's a message in chat, so let me check that. Is it still like that, Erdem? Is it still like that? Let me switch my internet connection. Okay, I came back. I will repeat from where I have left off. Can you hear me right now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Did you catch what I was saying here? Did you catch what I was?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I will take from the start. Yeah, it says. I mean, technically, we can write in either JavaScript or C# in Unity, but everyone uses C# since there are more resources on that part, and they have considered having C++, but since Unreal used C++, this C# choice created Unity as an alternative. So it made it an alternative to Unreal Engine, and I believe this is a good choice. And it helps with fast prototyping. And since it's a high-level language, I believe it's optional, of course, but I believe it's more fun to write. And it does not, I mean, this scripting engine that is offered by Unity does not require any source code. So you can just add some objects in your scene, and maybe add some animations, and you can have a game, let's say, but there won't be any logic, since there are no if statements or for loops, etc. Um, and it does not interfere. I mean, what you write does not interfere with the base logic of Unity, and it is game specific. So your scripts will be used in your game, but game engine will be used in all of your games. And we say that we have a sound and video engine. It's usually played based off an event. So for instance, there is a crash, you play the crash sounds, or when you pass a level, you play a cutscene or video, basically. You can create cutscenes in Unity too. Uh, so uh, if you have played Witcher, for instance, there's an enormous amount of cutscenes and cinematic, and you can do that in Unity. Um, okay, you can have surround sound effects and 3D sounds. I remember uh, using that in my virtual reality game. So there were different um, sources of voice, and you were fishing, and for instance, um, bird sounds were coming from the front, and frog sounds were coming from right behind, and some other sounds, for instance, water sound was playing in your left ear. Uh, so you can do stuff like that. And this is really something that you can learn in 1 hour or so. So it really takes care of most of the things. You can. I haven't used much animations in Unity, but um, if you, I mean, did you rigged some models before? Did you?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, great. And in Unity, you can use those rigs to um, modify your model, and then you can create a smooth transaction between two different points, two different states of your model. So if your one state is like this and your other state is like this, you can smoothly transition between them, and you can have a running animation like that. This is possible. Okay. We have talked about shading and lighting. Shading calculates special effects such as, sorry, not just shading, but shading and lighting engine calculates special effects such as shadows, normal maps, particle effects, and more. Do you know what a normal map is? Um, Normal map, I mean, if you took physics class, you know that light bounces according to a normal, right, in the surface. So if this is your surface, and let me just, if this is your surface, it's okay. If you have a curved surface like this, then your normals are like the okay, the screen is killing me. So your normals will be like this from this angle, and like this from this angle, and like that from this angle. Okay. But if you have a dusty surface, or if you have a, how can I say, if you have a surface that are not smooth, then your normal map will be like this. So because of that, you have um, a different reflection of the light. Okay. What else? Yeah, you can have some particle effects. It's really strong in Unity. Yeah, networking engine handles peer-to-peer communication. It also handles client to server communication, so you can validate your users if they logged in properly or not. And this can be distributed too. So by distributed, we mean distributing your server to many different machines rather than depending on one machine. You distribute to a cloud server, and your networking problems are split into those small um, machines. You can do that. And physics engine takes care of rigid body physics, soft body physics, and fluid dynamics. Um, I have not seen soft body term in Unity, but I have seen rigid body and fluid dynamics. Um, so we will talk about them later. We will see examples of that. We have talked about artificial intelligence engine. It controls stimuli, needs, desires, and flocking. So flocking means when a group of objects, such as a flock of birds, um, you can control them together. So as you know, birds fly in a certain rule set. Um, they fly in a V shape, and this V shape is created by uh, one simple rule. Actually, they they um, they check their stamina. If they have enough stamina, they um, take place in the forwards of the flock, and if they don't have the enough stamina, they um, get behind of the bird with more stamina, and this way they can fly easier uh, since they don't get any air friction. And if you define this rule within a software, you can easily make them move together. And it uses what we call a finite state machine. This is another design pattern that is commonly used in gaming and also some other fields of softwares. So finite state machine basically means um, that your AI behaves differently in different states. So in most uh, RPGs, there are NPCs, non-playable characters, right? And they have an idle state. They stand there and does not move and does not interact with anyone, right? And then they have a talking state or interaction state, maybe we can call it. When you go near them and talk with them, they answer you back. And they also can move, use gestures while they're talking. So their animations are activated in this state. After that, maybe if you say something wrong, they may jump into a fighting state. So they will draw their swords. They will take the optimum position to attack you, and they will try to attack you. While they are attacking you, um, they will jump to an attacking state. While they're they get hit, they will have what we call a hit, getting hit state maybe. So they will have an animation that is being played while they are taking damage. And if they die, they will have a dead state. So they will be lying on the ground. And these are the um, needed states for a basic NPC, for instance. So you can, if you want to um, make your objects do different things according to a state, you use FSM or finite state machines. Okay, we have also level editor. It allows placements of multiple assets to create environments. Also, you can create user interfaces such as leaderboards or menu, main menu, etc. in level editor. They can allow some scripting for AI. For instance, if you have a flock of birds or bats in your scene that are flying, you can customize it here. Or if you have a changing weather, for instance, in your scene. Let's say that after 1 hour of gameplay, your scene gets dark, and after one more hour, it gets lighter again, such as in GTA Vice City. You can adjust it here, and you can also use it for placing your assets, your game objects. Okay, version control. I'm going to give the definition, but not going to depths. A version control system is a tool that permits multiple users to work on a group of files collectively. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, it is okay.
I'm getting some pop-ups saying it's unstable, but this is why I asked. Okay, version control system is a tool that permits multiple users to work on a group of files collectively. It maintains a history of each file so that changes can be tracked and reverted if necessary. Not reverted, but reverted. Why do we use version control? Version control is crucial whenever software is developed by a team of multiple engineers. Version control provides a central repository from which engineers can share their source code. Even if you are working alone, it's useful and it should be a habit, actually. They keep a history of the changes made to each source file. They provide mechanisms allowing specific versions of the code base to be tagged and later retrieved. So if your last develop, I mean, if there will be times, especially when you're starting to game development, where you basically kill your code base. Okay, you mess up hugely, and um, it won't be easy to go back since you will forget what you have made. But if you have a version control system, you will be able to jump back to the previous version. You can go back to what you had in 2 years ago, for instance. This is a great tool, and it permits versions of the code to be branched off from the main development line, a feature often used to produce demos or make patches to older versions of the software. Okay, this is a complex one. I won't go into depths of that, but we will talk in detail about this. Another tool we use frequently is Microsoft Visual Studio. Have you downloaded Unity, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, great. Other people?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I did.
Erdem, you did?
Yes, I did, and I
Okay, and you downloaded Microsoft Visual Studio with it?
Some.
No, I
I
can.
downloaded the Visual Studio 4 or coding lessons
Okay.
already.
Okay. So you can write your scripts in Visual Studio, or what I'm going to suggest is Rider. Not because Visual Studio is bad, but because Rider is perfect. Not perfect, but better. Uh, and I believe since you have students mailed, you will be getting it without paying anything. Um, this is, I mean, Rider helps you. Rider gives you many suggestions in your code, so you can fix some of your mistakes. This is why it's mostly created for game development, unlike Visual Studio. But Visual Studio is around for more years, so it's maybe more stable at sometimes, but I haven't seen any major problems with Rider. So but I have seen many benefits of Rider, and everyone who used Rider uh, suggests going to use Rider, and I will suggest that. Um, it's I mean this uh, uh, Rider or Microsoft Visual Studio offer profiling tools that measures the performance of your code. So you can increase, you can change the points in your code that are not performance. If they are taking much time, you can change those. They can see memory leakage, and they can sometimes warn you about corruptions in your project. Um, but this is, I mean, memory leakage is not common in Unity or in C#. Okay, so let's talk a bit about Unreal Engine, since um, I guess it's the most advanced tool for uh, gaming, um, and I believe, yeah, there's Unreal Engine 5 that came out this year. So um, they offers enormous tools, and they offer enormous performance uh, to developers. You can have a scene of millions of polygons. I'm going to actually send you a video about how performance is Unreal Engine. Also, I'm going to send another video of from Unity. Uh, there are two great um, games uh, developed by those teams, and they have millions of particles inside the game, and game works smoothly with 60 FPS or something like that. Um, and this is a game engine developed by Epic Games. So, and it has a long history. It is showcased when I was 2 years old, and I mean uh, it started with a FPS game, Unreal. Uh, with its code written in C++, Unreal Engine features a high degree of portability and is a tool used by many game developers today. It's, like I said, developed by Epic Games. Uh, it can give you outputs in it can create games for consoles, PS3, what is TBA? I don't remember. TBA. I don't know the abbreviation, but it can create AR games, VR games, and it's used in Gears of War, Infinity Blade, Mass Effect, etc. So big AAA game studios choose to use this one. I have not seen many studios in Turkey that use Unreal Engine. Maybe there's one or two. I don't know. Even Zula is developed with Unity. So in Turkey, it's uncommon actually. This is why we are going to focus on Unity. Don't think that Unity is I don't know bad or limited. It actually is more useful if you are just starting, and it will stay more useful until you decide to make AAA games. Okay, and even then you can write a AAA game with Unity. But the optimum choice would be Unreal Engine for AAA games. But for anything else, Unity is a better choice. For mobile games, for instance, Unity is without a doubt better choice. For what else? Indie games, Unity is a better choice. For 2A games, it's similar, but I would prefer Unity still. So this is of course subjective, but most people agree with me from the industry. Unless you have a AAA game, your best bet is going with Unity. And the reason Unity is better in mobile developments is a problem, a fight between companies actually. So there was a game developed by Epic Games. It was what was the name? Fortnite. Okay, Fortnite. So you know Fortnite, right? So Fortnite was published to app stores, Apple stores, I mean, and Apple Store. So Apple basically asks for a big cut for each sale, and because of that, Fortnite suggested their users to buy the products from their own store, Epic Store. So instead of paying $20, players could purchase the game code. I mean the game key from Epic Store, and they could instead pay $10. Okay, and Apple didn't like that, and they removed Fortnite from the Apple Store. After that, they allowed Fortnite back to their store again. But this time, Fortnite put a video inside their game that makes fun of Apple. Okay, that makes fun of without giving the name Apple, but it made fun of platforms that took huge cuts from the sales. Okay, and because of that, Fortnite was completely removed from Apple Store, and Apple gave an ultimatum that says mobile games developed with Unreal won't be put into our Apple Store. And because of that, I mean, this is a recent event. Maybe some things have changed, but because of that fight between Epic Games and Apple, Unity is better to create mobile games, because it's still possible to put your game in iOS and Android at the same time, unlike Unreal Engine. And we see Unity. So Unity is a cross-platform game engine, meaning that it can produce games for multiple different platforms. It's developed by Unity Technologies and used to develop video games for PC, consoles, mobile devices, and the games are really portable. The engine targets following APIs: Direct 3D on Windows and Xbox 360, OpenGL on Mac and Windows, OpenGL ES on Android and iOS, and appropriately APIs on video game consoles. You don't have to think much about that. It's enough that you know that it creates it creates for different platforms, and it is used in Bad Piggies, Castle Stories, Dead Trigger 2, Wasteland 2. Also, it's used in Hearthstone. It's used in almost all of the game studios in Turkey. So this is the way to go. CryEngine is a game engine designed by the German game developer Crytek. It has been used in all of their titles, with the initial version being used in Far Cry. It has also been used for many third-party games under Crytek's licensing scheme, including Sniper, Ghost Warrior 2, and Snow. Okay, there are Hero Engine. I will just skip this. There's App Game Kits. I will also skip this. And there's recent trends. I skipped those, but you can check them back from video. Some recent trends include game engines are now being used for serious games. Serious games are games for patients or for military, etc. Visualization, training, medical and military simulation applications, with the CryEngine being one example. To facilitate this accessibility, new hardware platforms are now being targeted by game engines, including mobile phones, for instance, Android or iPhone, and web browsers, such as WebGL, Shockwave, Flash, Trinigis, and Unity Player. I remember talking with a game company that used Phaser and what was the name? 3JS. Yeah, 3JS. Phaser and 3JS used JavaScript to create playable advertisements. So if you have played hyper casual games, between some levels, there's a game ad that you can interact with. So those types of ads are created with Phaser or 3JS. If they are 2D, you can use you can use Phaser. If they are 3D, you can use 3JS. So these are two examples of game engines that use JavaScript. And thank you. This is all for this part of lecture, and after some short break of 10 minutes, we will go on with the installation parts, okay? And if you have any questions, you can ask in our next lecture, okay? So see you later.
See you.